Hello, everybody. This is Lee again for the Teachers of Health Professionals Google Plus community. We're talking with the irrepressible Dennis Wallersheim. Dennis, how are you going?
Good,
You
thank you,
there?
Lee.
Okay. Uh, Dennis is a dynamite, full of energy, bounces off the walls, great to go and have lunch with and talk ideas. And when I first started at this faculty a couple of years ago, I met Dennis, not too sure how, but we hit it off immediately. And Dennis was really keen about, at the time, the idea of asking students to edit Wikipedia. And to our knowledge, no one else in the faculty had done that as yet. So Dennis bravely went where no one else had gone before. So we're together now, Dennis, you and I, to reflect on that activity, talk about how or why you wanted to do it, how you thought you'd do it, and then reflect on the outcomes and what sort of problems emerged and challenges, and if you'd do it again, or what you'd say to others who were thinking to do it. So Dennis, could you kick us off with what subject you were teaching, to how many students, and a sort of description of the students, and why you decided to try this out?
Um, Hi, Lee. Hi, everyone. The subject I was teaching was called Health Information uh, Informatics, and the topic was electronic health records. It's the final year health informatics subject in the health information management degree here at La Trobe. So my thinking about the Wikipedia assignment was that students do a lot of work in class. Students are really smart and they work really hard and they produce these amazing, amazing pieces of work. And as teachers, we read them and we assess them and we give them back, and they are never looked at again. And I thought there had to be a way to harness that energy to give students something to do uh, that would live on after they finish the course. Um, I have relaxed high expectations of my students. I think that they can do amazing things, and I like to give them an opportunity to do that. I knew a bit about Wikipedia. I knew that anyone could go in and edit any page, and it was a community uh, uh, resource that the community had built, and I thought my students knew a lot about health informatics, and that there was a need for better health informatics information in Wikipedia. And so I thought, hey, my students can go and do that thing.
Mm. So you did it. Let me just share the screen and show what you set up. Now we should note here that Dennis, you're a programmer, so you know a bit about computers, program languages and stuff. So you felt natural in this space, and you were able to generate this page that we're looking at now, which involved a fair bit of code to present this with tabbed browsing and all that sort of stuff. But you went straight into Wikipedia and you actually created a project space in Wikipedia. So you understood quite a lot about some depth to Wikipedia beyond just its encyclopedic articles. And you created this, I don't know, what is it, an assignment description, a full course description in here. Tell us about what we're looking at here.
So the way we teach our students that plagiarism is bad, but the way to get things done with computers is to copy from other people. And so this is pretty much a direct copy of the standard course web page that Wikipedia puts up as a model for things you can do with your course. So they've got a standard page, and I took that page and I put it into my web space because anything in Wikipedia is editable. This is just another wiki page, and then I adjusted the content to fit my course. The thing about the standard Wikipedia page is that it's set up so that your whole assignment is built around Wikipedia, that your whole all your assessment is built around Wikipedia. And for me, I had other bits of assessment, but it gives you a way, a set of steps to get people from 0 to 60, to go from the start to finish of getting a high quality Wikipedia article out. You
Right.
start off by learning about Wikipedia, and they've got a lot of resources for that. Those are all the first 2 or 3 weeks. Then they provide a structure where you get to test out editing in your own. After you've got you get the students to set up an account for themselves, and then after they've set up an account, that's under the weeks 1 and 2. They start editing an article in their sandbox. There's another part of the curriculum that incorporates the Wikipedia process of feedback, where the students go in and give each other feedback, and then a final result, which is the final article.
So it's quite an in-depth look at the Wikipedia. You're not sort of just leaving it up to them to work it out. There's guides in how to actually enter this community, follow the etiquettes, not offend anyone, so hopefully, and all that sort of thing. So this is good. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, in any community, there's norms, and we know how to live in the real world. We know that it's not okay to walk down the street screaming or with no clothes on. But in the Wikipedia community, there's also a set of norms that we don't know about yet, and this curriculum introduces you to those norms. I had to learn a lot about the Wikipedia norms myself. That there's a because it's anybody can change Wikipedia page. They have well developed structures against getting garbage in the page, having your page be filled with garbage. So there's editors, there's people who go through and watch for changes and roll back changes, and so the students have to be kind of taught how to join in with that community. Do you want me to talk about the details of how that's done?
Well, let's leave that for later in the interview if we've got time, because it is very important stuff for those who are thinking to go into it. But I'd like to try and get into the nuts and bolts of your subject, your assignment, get some reflections on that, and maybe in the reflections we can bring this up a bit further, the norms and the etiquettes in there. So tell us about the assignment you set, how you set it up, what the criteria was, and all that sort of the marking criteria, the reactions from the students, things like that.
Yeah, great. So how I did the assignment is I actually went into Wikipedia and I said, give me all the articles that are currently in the area that I'm teaching, health informatics.
You queried Wikipedia for that. You didn't ask the students to query that. You queried Wikipedia.
I queried that. I created a list of articles, and I said, do something in this area. So down at the bottom of that page, there's a whole list of articles and articles and subject matter. As well, I added in some articles of my own. Right, the article banners, articles down at the bottom, section 4 there. Yeah, there you go. And I made a table up, and I said here are the articles, and then the users had to go in and choose which article they wanted to do. The first column, which user is the author of it. The second column is the name of the article and a link to the article. The reviewer columns are places where reviewers can go in and mark and say that they
okay. Just let me jump in to clarify that. You're using Wikipedia terminology, user and reviewer, and you're overlaying that to call your students a user and another student a reviewer. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Those are all students in that page. So people got to choose the article that they were interested in, choose the topic area they were interested in. Yeah.
Now
Uh,
this red one here, there's one. So this one wasn't chosen, but the
no,
red link.
the red, yeah, that one wasn't true, or the page is gone now.
Oh right, so it's gone, maybe merged with another thing. Okay, or was
Yeah,
it
somebody
deemed
come and
not
deleted it.
notable?
It's been a while since the
Yeah.
yeah, the red means it's gone.
So these links do go into the main space. They're not the user space. These are
Yeah,
actually main Wikipedia articles. Okay.
yes, yeah.
Did any of the students suggest an article you hadn't listed?
No, no. If they, they did what they were what they were. It was easy. Water flows downhill. You don't do any work you don't have to do. Um,
Okay, okay.
yeah. So so they chose an article. They worked on the article. They submitted it, and then I marked the changes that they'd made to the article. I went through and I found the set of changes that they made. Generally, they made their changes as a block, and so it was quite easy to see what changes they'd make to the article, and I assessed their changes.
Well, let me get an example up because you have sent me an example of I assume, a good effort from a student. The
Yeah.
National Electronic Health Transition Authority.
Yes, yes.
So, well,
This was
shall we look at that?
this is quite interesting. So this was an article that didn't exist in Wikipedia, so it had to be created, and the student created this from scratch.
Well, let me just on that. Let me look at the history then. So if I go back, here it was. We're still in June 2000, May 2013, April 2013. Maybe there was a few versions before then.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
or here we
Uh,
go. April 2013. Kyle
yeah.
Batty. Is
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
your student? Okay. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
look at the first instantiation of the page. There you go. So there, a quick little statement. Okay. Sorry to jump in there. Let's go back to
Yeah.
the newest version.
Yeah, great. So that what you're seeing there was the first part of the assignment. We
Yeah.
says do that, do something, make a little change to the page. And so the interesting thing for this one was that this person, did a kind of a mediocre effort, as a first result, and some editor came in and deleted their entire page. And
Right.
they came into class and they were more excited than I'd ever seen any before in a student. They were I can't believe it. Somebody deleted my entire page, and they went away and they worked their butt off, and they ended up with a really good article because
Right.
they were sort of pushing up against this real life situation. I
So
could
here,
not. There's no way as a lecturer I could have motivated someone that much.
okay, that's quite interesting. Yep, we've had testimonies similar, not just in editing Wikipedia, but just basically students engaging in the outer wide world of the web. But here we've got this little box here that I assume is when one of these volunteers have posted a note in this box saying, this article does not cite any references, although here's a reference down here, maybe it's not good enough. And they're challenging the notability of this article, which would have resulted in the deletion if the student didn't respond to that challenge.
Yeah. So what those things are is Wikipedia has got computer bots that go through
Okay.
and look at new articles and criticize them basically, and
Yeah, right.
and gives you advice and things like that. So you kind of you get some feedback. One of the things you can do is there's a talk page. You can see that at the top,
That's right.
top article on top, and the talk page is where you justify your page. So it isn't part of it's part of the meta conversation about the page.
Okay, I'm
And
just having a quick look at the talk page there. Okay. Back to the history. I'm just, as you talk, I'm going through the history as a page develops.
yeah, and yeah, you'll see on the talk page that Kyle got some quite good feedback from some of the other students about what was good about the page and what wasn't
Okay.
so good.
Oh, and you know that to be from the other students. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
because I told them to do that. That's part of the assignment
Okay,
was to
okay.
give some feedback.
You can see
Um,
here it's starting to expand fairly rapidly with the sections in the page.
yeah, yeah,
And
that was
we've got a date. This is the 12th of May. So expansion within the short time frame of the assignment, which is good.
yeah. highly motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So, yeah, I gave them
Okay.
assignments. They did. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, sorry, I'll fill in your gap. We'll go back to the article. So we're looking at an example. You wanted to show this example because of that incident where the page is deleted, the resulting impact on their motivation, and then they've produced quite a substantial page. Is this the best effort in your group? It's got a good range of references there, or is it just because of that incident you wanted to show
Well,
this example?
there's another feature of it too. The After about 6 months after the course was over, the National Electronic Health Transition Authority called me up and said, I see that one of your students edited this page. And
Wow.
they says, could you please get him to make some changes to it? Because we would like to, we're a government department and we would be really good if we could say better things about us. And I said, well, he doesn't in the class anymore and he probably shouldn't, put the job on him. Maybe you could do it yourself. And they said, oh, we've been trying, but the wiki people keep reverting our edits. So the people who were in charge of NITA didn't know how to negotiate
Yeah.
with Wikipedia. They didn't know
Yeah.
how to do it right, and so Wikipedia was they needed to do my course. They needed to have somebody who had experience with dealing with large scale collaborative editing systems. Yeah, so that's another good story. So that's the good one.
Did you
That's the
talk them
good.
into doing your course, by the way? Shall we send them a
No,
flyer?
no, I did not talk about
Okay.
doing my course.
Okay. Okay. So let me go back to your course page on Wikipedia. Now, what outstanding. So how did your students react? So we just had a look at a student example, but let's go back to when you've just issued the assignment and the criteria and it's showing them this page. What's their reaction in the room? You've got about 50 or 60 people in fifth year, wasn't it? Their fifth year of study.
Yeah.
What's their reaction?
So they were excited. Uh, it was an unconventional assignment. They were scared that they were going to be in public. They were scared that they would have something real. That they would have to do something real. Yeah, they were scared. Scared and excited. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. I mean, how did you deal with that?
I
Sort of said, suck it
ignored
up
it.
and get in there.
Yeah. I just like, well, you'll figure it out. It's not that
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is anyone else in your course, your other teachers, sessionals, are they noticing what you're doing at this stage? Are you
Yeah.
just going alone?
The response in the course, there was a few things they were, I don't want people to know that our students are that bad. Well,
Oh,
not that bad, but just, that they're
that
not.
naive something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. We don't want to be airing our dirty laundry. It's
Okay.
better to keep it quiet.
Okay. Wait till they're graduated. Wait till who's
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We don't
okay.
want to have all their stuff in one place where people can look at it.
Well, okay. So at that point, let's hold on that point. So now, if I was to go and look through all of these articles as evidence of your student work, would that fear have been realised, or would you be quite proud of what your students have done here, or is it
Uh,
just mediocre?
well, I think it shows the standard of the standard students. Some are good and some are not so good. It's a some edits were reverted the same day. I barely had time to mark them.
Yeah.
They were so bad. Other ones are still there 3 years later.
Yeah.
And providing a better service to the Wikipedia community than the National Electronic Health Transition Authority could do
That's what I was
themselves.
going to say. I mean, in fact, why don't you contact that student and say the National Electronic Health Transition Authority has a job for you. They're paying money for somebody to edit the Wikipedia page. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So, okay. So your students are nervous, scared, but excited by it. Have any resisted? Have any reacted adversely to say, no, I'm not doing this assignment?
No, they all did it. They all did it.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. The one comment that I did get was that it made them too specialized, and I sort of I like that. I like the fact that they're specialized. I like the fact that they have to learn a lot about one thing. But they said, well, we wanted to learn a lot about everything. And so that's and also I think that like they didn't know enough about the topics, so for them to be able to make a rational choice about it. So some of them ended up learning a lot about something that they're probably never going to use, and so maybe a thing would have been to do like to set them in a group on and do more work
A
on a
range of
topic that's more
articles.
central to what they're going to have to be doing in the real life. Um,
Do you think it would have worked where, if it was in a group especially, that they could work as a group to get a range of articles up to a certain standard? You might set that standard by example and say, okay, I want you to achieve this as a group, and that way they're all checking each other's work and in fact perhaps mimicking the natural flavor of Wikipedia where there are multiple editors collaborating together
yeah,
instead of individual work.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, group looks good. Yeah.
You've issued the assignment, the students have reacted, we've looked at an example, you can say everyone did the work, everyone passed. Did it adequately assess the objectives of the course, the subject, I mean? I mean, you said that this assignment was one of several assignments that you used to assess the outcomes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think in this course, uh, it was too much emphasis on one thing. That I've changed the course since, and I cover a much broader range of things. And so, if I was going to, I think it's very important that the students learn about Wikipedia and they learn about how to edit Wikipedia. But if I was going to do it again, I would. In fact, I will do it again. But I'm going to get them to do a smaller thing. To contribute 100 words to an article. In a small area. Like one example is to add information about international electronic health records to an international page or something like that. Just to do a small thing so they get a feel for it, but it's not so catastrophic. It ended up being about 50% of their mark, and it was just too big of a thing for something that was new to them that they
yeah,
had no idea about.
they hadn't done it in all of the 5 years of their study.
Yeah,
Yeah, since your experience, which I've noted these experiences and now tempered my advice that I give to staff, and we're coming up with things like in first year, their only task is to read an article, and if there's a sentence claiming fact without citation, then they put the
mm,
citation needed in there. Easy, low bar stuff, demonstrating they're able to critically read things like that, and then the other ones is to enter the talk page and leave a paragraph arguing for this section or this bit of information needs to be added. It doesn't get added necessarily, it just sits there on the talk page as a contribution from the students. So yeah, there's lots of angles that could be taken, I guess you were saying.
yeah.
So I guess the last question that comes to mind is your workload marking this. How did that go? And do you think it could improve, or what impact was it for you?
Hmm. Uh, Well, the hardest part was to figure out what changes they'd made. And but once I wrote a little computer program that would go through and pull out the changes made by that person and sort of amalgamate them and that was once I'd done that it was pretty easy to go through. Then you just had to mark the pages, the words, and because they sort of gone through such an intensive um, editing process, both self-editing and having other people review them. It was easier to mark them because they were better quality. As well, I made them not write so many words because the words were higher quality. They'd gone through many more processes. So it was the workload wasn't too bad. Um,
So just to check that for audiences maybe watching this, as I said, Dennis is a programmer. He can write a program to extract users' contributions. There are other ways without programming to extract the contributions, and then other methods. So a lot of teachers I've worked with who've done this before outside of this faculty ask students to write their article in their student user page. So that's not the main space of the Wikipedia, it's in their own space. They draft up what would become their article, and they may or may not transfer it to the main space, but then it becomes solely the student's work. That's another method without having to write a program. Okay, so back to your workload. You worked out how to extract the contributions, you're going through it. In the end, was it the same as marking a 2,000 word essay? Was it more, or?
it was more fun because they were better. The quality was better, and yeah, Yeah, and
Okay.
less words. Like as I said, I paid them for a 2,000 word essay, but I only made them write 1,000 words in the Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so you did set a word count. It was to be 1,000 words worth.
Yeah,
Yeah, roughly.
yeah.
Okay. I reckon that covers all my questions. Is there anything else you'd add to the experience, Dennis? Like you've already told us what you might do next time, if and when you do that. What advice might you give other than what you've already said to other teachers thinking about doing this, or even the Wikipedia community, how they might be able to help if they wanted to do this? Anything spring to mind?
Yeah. I think it's good to get people to do things in public. That's it. Yeah.
Especially, I guess, do you think it's reasonable to say fifth year or graduating students? Yes, maybe first years, maybe we can hold back at that point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, yeah. Just any form of public thing is good.
yeah, okay.
Making sweat. Yeah.
Well, Dennis, stay on the line while I end the broadcast. Thank you very much for giving us your time and bravely going where no one in the faculty had gone before in 2013, leading us the way and sharing us your learnings so that others may learn from what you've done. Thank you, Dennis.
You're welcome.